Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Nick Push, and welcome to Nick Push's Horror Channel. If you're new here, as you might be able to guess from the title of the channel, I like to talk horror movies, do ranking videos, break down a lot of different franchises from what you can see behind me. That's kind of what I focus on. A lot of Halloween. So, if you like that kind of shit, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And if you're returning, thanks again, guys, for tuning in as always. Today, what I want to talk about is some Scream. We have Scream 6, which just recently, this week, I believe, started filming up in Canada. So that's exciting. What I wanted to do today, though, is break down and rank all of the different motivations that the different Ghostface killers have had. Obviously, we've had 5 movies, so we got a bunch of different ghost faces and a bunch of different motivations to talk about. What I'm gonna do here is probably just keep it short and sweet. I'll talk about a lot of these movies and a lot of these motives in detail in the future. But I wanted to get my thoughts out here, my initial thoughts on the rankings of their motivations. So a couple of things here. Number one, I am taking the motivation for each individual killer. So even if there are 2 killers in a movie, I'm gonna separate them, with one exception. The new movie, Scream 5. I've only seen this once. Unless I missed something, I think their motivation was pretty much tied together. Unless I missed something, I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comments. So I decided to lump them into one motivation. So that brings us to 8 ghost faces that we want to rank. Can't talk today. Sorry. I'm not editing that because I don't fucking feel like it. And it's my channel. When you have your own channel, you can do whatever the fuck you want. So, that being said, guys, real quick, this is not my ranking of favorite ghost faces. I've done that in the past. Go check out the video from earlier this year on my channel. I've already done that. I'm specifically ranking their motivations. And what do I mean by that? Basically why they said that they are doing it, why they are killing, why did they become Ghostface? So it's basically what they said and kind of what we know about their character. So let's get right into it. Number 8 is going to be Charlie from Scream 4, played by Rory Culkin. His motivation, guys, basically what they said, or he said, was basically he's just in love with Jill. So that's why he's doing it. I'm all for doing things for love, guys. It's a glorious reason to do something. Whether it's get married, whether it's take out the trash, anything. Killing, not so much. Lame. He's at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Roman from Scream 3. Not a big fan of the character, not a big fan of the movie. And I'm also not a big fan of his motivation. I get it, Basically, his motivation is Sidney took his family life. So basically, he's getting revenge for the family abandonment and, his mom leaving him, which sounds a little similar to something. But anyway, he's doing this because Sidney basically has his life. They're half-siblings. Maureen, obviously, got around, so to speak, and this movie dives deep into that. So in that respect, going back to the roots like that, the end of the trilogy, I get, but the motivation, a long-lost sibling comes back and seeks revenge because you got this family and I didn't. It's been done to death. So Roman is at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Mrs. Loomis. I like this character, I really do. Basically, she's getting revenge for Sidney killing her son, Billy. That's it. It's a good motivation, but it's not as creative as a lot of the other ones that we get to. So as much as I like the character, as much as I get the motivation, there's just other motivations that are better than that. Coming in at number 5, this is where you guys may, do some bitching here. Because my rankings, guys. I'm just telling you how I feel, and I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. This is my favorite Ghostface. It's Billy Loomis, but his motivation is only number 5 for me, and that's okay. He is basically, as he said, and I'm gonna butcher the line, but getting revenge. There's that theme again for Sidney's whore mother sleeping with his father, and that's why his mom left him. Once again, good motivation. as much as any of these are, for going on a killing spree. And I love him as Ghostface. He's my favorite. But the motivation is good, but not great. So he is at number 5. Coming in at number 4, a little ahead of him, is going to be his buddy, his partner, Stu Macher, who, as he said, always had a thing for Sid. His motivation, and I quote, is peer pressure. This is mostly in there because of the comedic delivery that Stu had. But if you think about it, I could see this happening to a high school student. Your best friend's got this dark side, and he's talking about killing everyone. You're gonna, a weak person that succumbs to peer pressure could easily fall in. It's happened all the time, from Columbine to all kinds of different school shootings and shit like that. So this is a real reason, even though it's delivered comedically. And it's kind of terrifying that somebody would go to the lengths that Stu did, butchering up people just because of peer pressure. So I like that reason. A lot of the reasons you'll see, the motivations you'll see towards the top of the list are I like because they fit the time, they fit the narrative, they're creative, and they're real. So that's kind of how I judge it, and that's just my personal opinion. But Stu is at number 4. All right, top 3 people. Number 3 is going to be Jill from Scream 4. If you saw my Scream ranking video, I'm very high on this character. And a lot of that has to do with, obviously, Emma Roberts. Thought she was fantastic. But I really liked the motivation she had. And it's basically being famous as a sole survivor of a massacre. Kind of how her Aunt Sydney got famous. I thought that was really creative. B, when this movie came out in 2011, and still today, obviously, it was very relevant. And it's very relevant that someone would do this to be famous. To be the last survivor and be famous and, get on, social media and have people coming up to her. I thought that was very clever, and I really liked it. And I really liked Jill as a character, which helps. So Jill is at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is going to be a Ghostface, actually, that I'm not a huge fan of, but I really enjoy the motivation. And that is going to be Mickey, played by Timothy Olyphant. His reasoning was he was blaming the movies, once again, fitting with the times. This is 1997 at the time. He said nobody's ever blamed the movies before. And it just fits with Scream as a franchise, blaming the movies for going on a killing spree, pleading insanity or whatever because of the movies. I know Mrs. Loomis said his whole blaming the movies thing was stupid or something, but I liked it. I thought it fit a character, especially a character in a collegiate film class. I thought it was great. And who the fuck doesn't love Timothy Olyphant? So he is at number 2. Believe it or not, though, my number 1 is going to be the combined 2022 killers of Richie and Amber. Crazy, I know. All these classic movies, and I choose the new one, which I did like the new one. I got my thoughts in another video. Their motivation of essentially toxic fandom, which I fucking love, as I sit here bitching about horror movies on YouTube to you guys. I love that basically they're kind of writing their own Stab movie because as big Stab fans, the creators of the sequels fucked up all the sequels, and they need to get the franchise back on track. So it's essentially toxic fandom, which we see every day. Which sometimes we are, not singling anyone out, but we, and when I say we, myself included, are guilty of. I'm not saying we're going to go on a killing spree, but it really has you look in the mirror. And if somebody is obsessed with these movies the way some of us are, myself included, and they're not right mentally, they could fucking snap and, decide to write their own sequel. I think it's going to fucking happen one day. If it hasn't happened already, I'm sure it has. But if it hasn't happened already, it's going to happen. Mark my words. So I really enjoyed this motivation. It surprised me in such a good way. It's probably my favorite part of the movie, the way they deal with the toxic fandom and requels and shit like that. So I really loved their motivation. So they are number 1 for me, believe it or not. Do me a favor, down in the comments, tell me what your favorite motivation is. Rank them all. Rank your top 3. Whatever. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys.